A lot of the guys who are running Afro House labels don't necessarily have that foundational experience of African electronic music. So I think a lot of them are making a business decision to break into that sound and sign tracks that they think will be popular versus tracks that are more foundational sonically in terms of what is Afro House.
Hey everyone, welcome to Off Decks, where we're spotlighting voices and people who has been shaping and building the global Afro electronic music scene. I'm your host Ajax, and I've got a very special guest today. He's one of the guys who has been working behind the scene powerfully, and he has also been pushing the Afro House movement for a long time, and also is the founder of one of the most respected platform in the scene, Afro House Feed, and also the co-founder of Club Records. Ladies and gentlemen, Wesley G.
What's up, everyone? How's it going, man?
Good, bro. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm really honored to have you on the show today. So, what have you been up to lately?
Yeah, man, just been sort of focused on two things. I mean, starting with Afro House feed. There's a lot of other Afro House pages out there that are starting to do pretty well. So I've been doing this for 5 years, so focusing on, new content types beyond just, what we see day to day, DJ support videos and trying to find more of a voice for the movement with editorial style posts and a lot more cooking in the works, which I'm excited to share with you all soon. And then on the other side of things, just focus on growing out Club Record. It's going to be our 1 year anniversary in July. So me and Manu have been grinding every day, growing the label, focused on bringing the best sound that we can find. And then we've got events upcoming, merch. So there's a lot in the works, man.
Oh, that's crazy. You've grown the Afro House platform, Afro House feed, into the go-to platform for anything Afro House, and you've done it in a very very big way that is now huge. How do you start the platform?
Yeah. So, I mean, it started during COVID, actually. So I started doing events. I'm based in Canada, in Toronto. So I started an events platform here with a friend of mine. And we did a few events here and there, and then COVID, hit, right? And I thought, I want to keep myself busy, still keep kind of my foot on the pedal with the music scene. So I started posting Afro House music. I'm originally from South Africa, so I've been listening to this music, for all of my life, and always showing the guys out here like, listen to this, listen to that guy, listen to that. So just started posting once a day. It started just posting album covers. So you can scroll down, it'll take you a while, but that's all still there. Some early Lemon and Herb, early Tandy Dry, and some others out there. And then as the platform started picking up a little bit of followers, started posting different types of content, beyond just music, which is where it's grown today. So yeah, it's been 5 years in the making, and yeah, we're not slowing down.
It's just 5 years, but it looked like something that's been coming for a while, like a long time ago, and you've built into something that is huge. And I don't know how to say, but you've done a great job, and
Thank
you're
you.
pushing the Afro House movement because before Afro House was just like in Africa, it was not like a thing to the world, but with your platform, you've also also helped the sound grow. So you've done a really great job.
Appreciate that. I think for me, the next things is kind of like beyond just focusing on, the 20 to 30 people that we see every day online. Is I'm trying to figure out ways how to showcase more of the smaller guys who are not necessarily on the road. So yeah, if anyone listening has any ideas, feel free to hit me up.
Oh, sure, bro. So when you started the platform, do you start it alone or you have like a team you are working with? Even now that it's big, do you still have like a team you're working or you're still doing it alone?
No, so I mean, it's been only me from the day one. I've recently got my wife involved to help out with a lot of the requests that are coming in via DMs and email. Otherwise, it's just too much to keep up with between the page and the label. So yeah, she's doing a great job of helping me out as well.
So that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So also about Club Records, you launched out with your partner Manu. So How did the whole collaboration with you and Manu, how did the whole idea of the label, how did it come to life?
Yeah, so I mean, Manu and I have been working together for a while. We sort of connected probably about 3 years ago. Just being, one of the only two like influencers, I guess, in the Afro House space. So, he's doing reaction videos, I'm doing my thing. So he hit me up for a call, and then, we started having regular touch points, just sort of about what is our experience, doing this online. What is working for him, what's not working, what's working for me, and kind of just bouncing ideas off of each other in order to help each other grow, right? So finding, just sharing experiences. And then we came up with the idea to start a podcast, which was called No Guest List. We were working with a good friend of ours, Anthony James, super talented artist, DJ based in London too. But unfortunately, bringing together three people, it was just a lot of work because we're all located in different parts of the world. So it made it challenging to keep up that consistency. So unfortunately, No Guest List is still on pause. We're looking at hopefully bringing it back soon. Um, but yeah, after that kind of died out, Mano and I thought like, okay, what else can we be doing? So we started a an Afro House news page called Shaker, which was high volume content, 5 to 7 posts per day. And unfortunately, just everybody gets busy, as it did with No Guest List. That slowly died out. That was beyond me and Manu. We were working with a few other key people in the Afro House space as well. So just coordinating work between four more people, it was a challenge just because everyone has their own stuff going on. So after that, Manu and I, we kept our momentum going, chatting, almost every day. And then, he came up with the idea like, hey, like, let's start a record label, right? And Manu and I share a lot of the same network and connections, and we sort of brought together our two platforms to have this global audience of Afro House listeners, and naturally things kind of grew from there. He has new music coming in every day, so that he's heavily working on the A&R side, and then I'm doing a lot of the operations, distribution, marketing sort of stuff like that. So it's become a nice fit, and then obviously we leverage his platform and Afro House feed to market the music.
That's a lot because you did like different platforms like you said, Shakers, no guest list. Those things
Yeah.
like take big commitment to do that, and you've managed to put something out there. House feed, club record, and you doing amazing. How have you um manage like your personal life and also your professional life? Because the professional life needs a lot of commitment and it
Yeah.
takes your time. Like you travel, I see like I've been following you for a while and I see like today you're in this location, you're in this location. So you move a lot. So how do you manage to keep both life balanced?
Listen, it really just boils down to managing your time and showing up every day, right? So, I mean, I'm still working a day job, in my professional life, so that obviously takes priority. But it's a 9 to 5, sort of time frame, right? So I have to make sure that I manage the hours outside of the 9 to 5 need to be dedicated to whatever needs to be done, right? So, there's demands on the Afro House feed side and Club Record every single day. So I just try to stay organized, get as much done as I can in advance, um, and staying on top without falling behind. But yeah, it's not easy, man. I tell a lot of people in the scene that I'm overwhelmed all the time. But I just one task at a time. That's all you can do, and slowly it accumulates into something.
Is there a routine to it or you just go because there was this podcast of Francis I watched, then he said
Yeah.
for everything he does there's a routine, like he goes to the gym. Is there something you do to like keep the old draining stuff to stay healthy, to stay in the right mental space, like stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean there is definitely a routine to it. So dedicated a few hours before work starts every single day. Um, making sure all my posts are aligned on Afro House feed. I get that out the way first, and then for the rest of the time I have available, I'll focus on club record until I need to start my work. Then always in the evening, take a little bit of time off, go to the gym, walk the dog, make some food, and then the rest of the evening is straight back into mostly club record at the moment. And then Afro House feed in conjunction with that, man. So it's from my approach is really just being disciplined about staying on top of whatever needs to be done. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the sound we're talking about, the Afro sound, has like really also become like a big thing now. Like it's a big movement, and is that's grown to a stage like where everybody now is into Afro house and stuff. What's your own take on like the sound, like where it starts gotten to now?
Yeah, I think I mean there's a lot of opinions that float around, and trying to put everything under one label Afro House is starting to become a little more complicated than it used to be. You have the guys like Magnifique that are falling under this Afro House umbrella, which in my opinion is not really Afro House for the most part. You could call it melodic house or melodic Afro House, whatever. And then you have another spectrum of things where it's all Afro tech. You look at guys like Wash, The Siege, and that's a completely different spectrum, right? So we're starting to umbrella everything under this one term, but there's definitely a lot more room for more sort of sonic variation to kind of make its way, especially out of Southern Africa, to on two bigger stages, with the likes of, kind of music who are obviously, you know, most of the time attributed to building out this, global Afro house sort of sound. But I think we've still got a long way to go in showcasing what Afro house music actually is beyond just what the most of the world thinks it is now. So I really look forward to seeing, kind of more sonic variation cross borders, in the near future.
Yeah, like I think that's true because
Yeah.
everybody has their own. I see people make deep house, they say it's Afro house. I see people like so it's just like different things that people are calling Afro house now, and we're just trying to like consume everything, even though we know this is not that. We're just trying to like consume it and just like put everything in just like the same bracket of Afro house.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time for the DSPs to catch up. I mean, you look at like Beatport, for example, adding an Afro House category is relatively new. It's not that old. So now, they should look at incorporating other areas of Afro electronic music. Three Step, I think, should have its own category, for example. The melodic sort of side of things should have its own category as well, because as you know, man, the volume of music that gets released every week is just overwhelming, right? So the guys over at Beatport, have somewhat of a responsibility to sort through that, and I think they're doing a much better job than they were before. But there's room for more variation in labels. At Beatport, same with Spotify. Spotify are doing a little bit better. They have Afrotech playlists, Afro House playlists, but I think we're gonna start to see a little bit more categories of Afro electronic music
So,
come out soon. Yeah.
yeah, I hope so. And something that people have like I've always heard from people is like the sound is like repetitive. Like we hear the same thing every time. Every label keep pushing the same. Is the fault the label or is the fault the artist or the producer putting out the song? Or
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, there's a lot of artists who, having a depth and understanding of the origins of the sound, it's an experience, right? And it's not something that you can really learn, on YouTube within 2 weeks. So I like to see a lot more of the guys who have that foundational experience make a lot more music and release a lot more, right? But if you it's becoming so accessible now with YouTube tutorials and splice packs and sampling. It's all over the place. So it's not that difficult to make a song that sounds the same, especially when everyone is accessing the same samples, right? On the label side, I think you can kind of attribute it to the same thing, but there's two things to consider. The first is that a lot of the guys who are running Afro House labels don't necessarily have that foundational experience of African electronic music, um, and have been listening to it for some time, right? So I think a lot of them are making a business decision to break into that sound and sign tracks that they think will be popular versus tracks that are, you know, more foundational sonically, in terms of what is Afro House, right? So you can't really blame the labels; they're a business at the end of the day, and that's what they're most of them are trying to do. But again, I really challenge a lot of the artists out there to go beyond the sample packs that everyone is using, and try to find more original sounds, than what's available to you, online.
Yeah, I believe what you just said, but from my own point of view, I feel like when we reach out to the label, they say we want something different. But when you give them the something different, they say it's off, like it's not what they want. So do you
Yeah,
think it's something to do like because I feel like the artists are trying to do what they can do, but also the labels are trying to like ask for what the artist cannot give.
yeah, it makes sense, right? It's not the right question to bring me something different, because at the end of the day, like, if they have a sound that maybe they're not familiar with, but by extension their audience is not familiar with, they're going to be hesitant on signing it because it's their responsibility to market the record after signing it, right? So um, if they feel that if they can market the song because it's a little bit too different, let's say, it makes it harder for them to sign it. But I think there's a lot of labels that are doing a great job. Um, the likes of Sundell are doing great. Nick at 81, with Afrosteria and Deep in Your Soul, they're doing great at keeping an original sound. But then there's a lot that aren't, that are sort of focus on more general population. So I think if you have a track that is a little bit different, even though it's a big label, right? I would rather work with somebody who has the platform to push a sound like that, right? So I would sign with a Sondela or Afrosteria or Deep in Your Soul, or there's a lot more. There's hundreds of labels, but it's a challenging landscape working in Afro House now because um, there's the general audience of Afro House is kind of still stuck on this one sort of sound, which is why a lot of things are starting to sound the same. And I think labels will make decisions based on whether or not they're going to target that mass, unfortunately. But it is sometimes business, over passion, unfortunately. But that's why I think in the near future, everyone's going to start to get a little bit tired, of the same sound, and we're gonna start to see a lot more room of different sounding, Afro house music.
Yeah, that's true. So you still think there's still like space for the sound to still grow, right?
Yeah, it's brand new. Like this boom is only 2 years old, right? For the most part. And that's not talking about Black Coffee has been doing it for years and years, but it really showing up in all these places I never thought it would, the likes of Saint Tropez and those kind of locations. Even, San Francisco is starting to become a lot more part of the scene out there, which is pretty cool. But um we all crave variation eventually, right? So, the general audience is going to get tired of that typical Afro House sound that we're hearing now, and Afro House fans will stick around. They're not going to shift immediately over to something else. They're going to start to hear variations. Oh, this is different. This is nice. I like this, and then it's going to make room for more guys to jump on the wave and make good music out there, because the guys are out there, it, right? They're making
Okay,
fantastic
so
music, and they're releasing and they're trying, and the guys in the scene love it, include like myself. What I listen to on a daily basis would probably shock a lot of people. um but yeah, I think it's only a matter of time, right? Give the scene some time to grow and get a little bit of maturity, and then I think it's going to be better for everyone else. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. So let's go back to you. You're running like the platform Afro House with. How do you know what to post? Whatever post you put out, like artists you like spotlight or like events, they're like the top. But like the sound is just what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, how do you figure out like, okay, this is the one, this is that, this is this?
Yeah, it's a fine line between personal preference and knowing what might be more viral than the other, right? So, obviously there's a select group of, let's say, 20 artists that I know if I post about them, the post is going to do well. And then, if I'm choosing moments from their set to post about, it'll be a decision of what I like versus what I think is going to do well in the algorithm, right? So, it is a little bit of a game that I have to play, unfortunately, but it is the way that it is. And yeah, my purpose at the moment is kind of going beyond what I think is going to go viral, right? So the platform has got to a stage where it's doing well, it's successful. I don't need to concentrate as much on, engagement, growing followers. I'd rather just, owe it back to the scene and kind of try my best to showcase what is real Afro house music. So I'm trying to be a lot more purposeful in in the songs that are showcased on the release day posts, and from the sets as well, right? So kind of going back to where I started, which was really focusing on the sound, growing the page. Obviously, some decisions were made based on virality, but now I really want to kind of get back a lot more focused on showcasing what is an original Afro house sound, what is the Afro house community, and really focus beyond that because, as I was saying before, this kind of music boom is going to go and come, right? So if you build an audience that's purely based on kind of music and that sound, what happens when that sound dies out? You're going to lose a lot of your audience too, right? So it's really just staying purposeful, staying really aligned with what I love and what the scene is, and making sure that's showcased to my audience. And as you said, it can be a little bit different and people might not get it right away or not like it, but I don't really care anymore. So it's just like the world should know that this is the real music. This is what's good. And again, it's only a matter of time before they're like, this guy knew,
But
you know.
yeah, I understand that. So is there like any artists like you're into right now, like you think like they have the potential to like get to those big places, like their sound nice, something different, but it's something
Yeah,
that can like keep the crowd going, like give us something else.
absolutely. I think Bun Shapa still has a lot of shine. I think he's still at the beginning of his career, even though he's been around for you and me. We've known him for a while, but I think on the global stage, Bun has a big career ahead of him. So I'm super excited to see where he goes. I think there's a few other upcoming guys that I'm really enjoying. Murphy Cubic is another one. He's doing great. Um, I still think Mash has a long way to go. I mean, obviously he had the kind of music collaboration, but I'm excited to see where he goes um, beyond that track. Just trying to think other guys that I might think about. Um, I think August is an interesting one. He is an Afro house artist, but he's putting out something that's not necessarily typical. I think his
Yeah,
fusion with sort of the Afrobeat world is something that is really going to be start to more popular. I think he's going to get a lot of copycats in the next year, right? So fusing Southern and Western African sound is still something sort of new in the scene. So I think he's got a good way to go. I hope he keeps pushing that sound and doesn't go somewhere else. But those are some dudes that I'm looking at right now for sure.
those are like top artists, like especially August. I know him like personally, and it sounds just like definitely different, but it's something we love to hear, like, especially me. I like his sound a lot, so I think
Yeah,
that's something new.
yeah.
For
There's so many names, man. It's just we could sit here all day talking about artists, and but yeah, like I think there's a big foundational wave of artists out there that are, you know, a year or two away from really breaking out into a global scene for sure.
For Club Records, what do you guys look for in artists before you sign them, before you like bring them
In the artists, I mean, uh, to be honest, there's not really a requirement, right? Like we've signed a lot of artists this year that, we were their debut release at Club Record, right? So um we just believe in the music first and foremost. I mean, between Afro House feed and Manu's platform, there's enough of us, there's enough followers out there to kind of, elevate if it's a good song. So really it just boils down to the music, right? If we love the track, if we vibe with it, we're gonna sign it. It doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, how many followers you have, how many monthly listeners you have. That's not what matters to us. So yeah, it just boils down to the music, that plain and simple.
Yeah, that's true. So I saw you guys did your first event, Club Record Fest event last month.
Yeah.
So should we expect more, or is there something else you guys are collaborating on that we should know?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of events in the works actually. So the point of Club Record is to create a brand beyond digital, right? So you can listen to the music, but we also want to create an experience in person. So we're starting to get our feet wet with events. First one was in London. Our second one's going to be in London too. It's at B Club. I don't think I can announce who's on
That
the
is
lineup, but
that's
both artists that have worked with Club Record already. And then we got a few more upcoming. We're in talks to do something in Madrid, in Lisbon, in Nairobi, in South Africa. So yeah, we're hoping to really start picking up the pace with events toward the end of the year, and then going into 2026, doing as much as possible for sure.
mm, that's huge, and something big is coming definitely.
But yeah, we're working.
Yeah. So what's something we should expect from Wesley G himself? Like what should we expect?
Man, like for me, for myself, I'm putting work in behind the scenes at Club and Afro House Feed. So that's where I like to showcase my passion and my work ethic. And so stay tuned on those socials. But yeah, personally, that's where I'm gonna be. You know where to find me.
Yeah, I also saw this clip of you like DJing also. Is that something you've like been doing for a while? Is that something you're trying to go into?
No, I mean, listen, I know how to DJ and mix. It's something I love to do. I really enjoy it, but going after the career path of being a DJ is not for me. Um, yeah, I'd rather work on the other side of things, on socials and at the record, and let other guys do their thing behind the decks. But if you ever want to mix, chill out, have a good time, hit me up. I'm down. I'll bring my USBs, but you probably won't catch me playing at any shows. Yeah.
Yeah. So no DJ career.
No DJ
Okay,
career for me, man. Yeah.
that's good. So you've like been behind the scene for like a while now. What's something you've seen behind the scene that you know people in the scene don't see, they don't know?
Oh, that is a good question. Something that I see behind the scene that, yeah, I guess like for people who are not in the scene, something to take note is that, we're all just people at the end of the day, right? I think there's a lot of really good characters in our industry, and they're really just genuine and nice people. So, if you're ever wanting to approach, a label or an artist, feel free. If you create a purposeful message, something nice, and humble sort of in your approach, you're more likely to get a reply than if it's something demanding and expecting. So yeah, just remember, yeah, we're all just people at the end of the day trying to do our thing. We all have our own mission, and yeah, feel free to reach out. That's it.
So thank you so much, bro, for coming on today and also for you sharing your story with me. I really appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, awesome, bro. I love the I love the idea of decks. I think you're gonna do well, man. Really sick concept, and I think it's been a long time coming that there needs to be a platform where people can talk, right, and tell their story, do their thing, beyond just going to a party or listening to music, right? So yeah, thank you for having me, man. I really wish you all the best, and if there's anything I can help with, bro, hit me up. Okay,
Thank you so much.
cool, brother.
So, guys, thank you for listening. This is Updates. Stay tuned. Peace out.